What the date?
As near as we can figure out, this is
Alan Dawkins.
Alan Dawkins in the little swing, and that's myself mothering him around and playing with the ball. And I have no idea what age it would be, but I remember seeing other pictures at about the same time. Evidently, I don't know who the girl is back there in the background. I have no idea, but that's little Alan.
That's Alan. I can remember him. Yeah.
Is that you in the red dress?
Yep.
Leo's daughter? You. That's you who in the red dress?
Huh?
That's you who in the red dress?
That's Linda.
Linda Foster.
There's my mother. Lucille or my mom and Aunt Flora were really good friends, and I remember we used to play together a lot.
Marion Zimmerman. Bill Zimmerman and Marion down here on Louis Husky's farm.
They say that they bought that thing.
Louis bought this farm from Marion Zimmerman after Bill died.
Yeah.
Old house where they lived, the house is gone. Louis built a new house. There's Buttermilk Bill.
Now we don't want.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna come to the Roney boys in about 1948 or 50. There's James and Charles and Dennis right there.
Charles has the reins.
Charles is in the middle, Jim is on the right, and Dennis is on the left. The horse is Flaxy.
What's the wheels?
There we are. Jim on the right, Chuck in the middle, and Denny on the left. The old barn in the background. There's Dad,
Yeah.
Paul Roney. There's Jim. There's Grandma Roney right there.
What year would this have been?
Oh, about 1950. There's the whole family. Dad, Mother, and Grandma, and Paul, or no.
See,
Paul.
there's Larry. See, we don't have Karen yet.
Larry is right, and there's the dog
There's
Tip.
the dog Tip.
Tip the
See,
dog.
we don't have Karen
There's
yet.
Jim getting on the bike now.
Well, we have to have
48 Dodge we used to have. There's Grandpa Miner's
did too
old
have
farm home
Karen
in the background.
Where was Karen?
I don't know. Karen should have been there. When
Sure,
was
she
she
should
born?
have been there. Now here's
Sure.
Leo Germans
Leo German's.
in this house right here.
That's this house right here.
Yeah. Now
That's
you better keep talking.
Picture of the house.
there's
This
Leo
is going to
German.
be all the
Oh,
neighbors
dear.
now.
I didn't notice that before.
Mr. and Mrs. Melander.
Melanders lived over on the farm where Harold Webster lives, the Malmberg farm over east,
Yeah.
east of the
That
cemetery.
was Mabel Roney's dad.
Yep, Mabel Roney's dad.
There's Gregor and Mrs. Peterson that live down south where Jeannie Peterson lives now.
Jeannie McDaniel.
And there's Helen Johnson and her husband Jimmy and their oldest boy.
How are they related to Gregor Peterson?
That was his, oh, wait a minute. No, that's Mary Malmberg's son.
Mary Momberg?
Brother. All right, here's Gregor.
Gregor Peterson.
Yeah, this was Mary Malmberg's brother, Jimmy. Yeah,
Marion Zimmerman.
Marion Zimmerman.
Minnie Kelzer. I don't know that lady.
Mrs. Peterson.
There's Gregor again.
He's going over that again. Marion.
Marion.
And Minnie and Mrs. Peterson. What was her first name?
Oh, that's right. That's weird.
Okay, there's Mrs. Handy and Mrs.
Daisy Handy on the left.
Isaacson.
Mrs. Isaacson.
Mrs. Akers and Mrs. Gibson, Julia Dahlbeck, N.J. Nelson, and I don't know the lady back there.
Jessie
Jess
Smith.
Smith, Marion Zimmerman,
Mary
Marguerite
Zimmerman.
Zeman, Cynthia Du Bois, Vi Moore, and Lily Schaub, and Laverne Akers, and Minnie Kilzer, and Doris Roney, and Alan down the bottom there. And Mother Minor.
There's Nana.
There's Nana.
Yep. Nana Minor.
And here's Catherine Vassalou. That's the Johnsons. No, that's
Lee
Zimmelman's. Lee Zimmelman's, yeah, that's who that is. There'll be more of the neighbors, won't there?
Leroy Zimmelman's dad, yeah.
Yeah,
And Allison's dad,
yes, yeah.
or folks.
But they don't come in very good.
No,
does it?
it's dark.
Now here's
Fred Johnson
Fred
and
Johnson and Gertrude.
It's dark.
Nothing I can do for you, Jason.
Yeah, if it isn't good, why?
These gentlemen in this light.
She has glasses and that's
There.
there an hour ago.
There's Gertrude and her husband, Fred Johnson. She used to be my school teacher at Fullerton. That's Mr. and Mrs. Lee Zimmelman that lived west of town where Dean Smith lives now. And there is Bill and Helen Johnson. This is Bill's first wife, Helen. And he just got married now at the age of 84. She was sure a sweet gal. I can still see her doing that with her glasses. Okay, here's the Bollins
Andy and Judy Vollen.
and
who's-
Mary Malmberg.
Mary Mulder.
And there's Doris and Hilda Berkland and Minnie Kilser. And there's Mr. and Mrs. Otto Weiss and Paul Roney and Marion Zimmerman.
Yep, there's Dad.
And there's Selma Nelson and N.J. Nelson
Jay Nelson's dad. Yeah.
And
See,
Mrs.
Paul,
Quigley.
look like him?
and Buttermilk Bill and Mr. Quigley. And there's Mr. Quigley and Buttermilk Bill. Yes, sir.
It really was. It was a celebration.
For
He
Frank
was- yeah.
Boyle's funeral.
Yeah, he was ready to go, and everybody was, you know, we knew that he had to go, and I think it's nice when you can look at it that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he had had what, polio? Is that right?
Mhm.
And where would Frank Boyle then have lived? Now, is that house that was on tour for the centennial
Yes,
here in
That's where
'86?
he and Effie lived for after the mother passed away. Then Effie went to Jamestown. See, the creamery closed down. Effie went to Jamestown, and she took Frank with her,
Oh, did she?
and he lived up
What
there
year
with
would that
her
have been? She'd have gone to
grandmother.
Jamestown,
I
yeah.
don't know. She'll give you that information. Yeah.
Now, where's Aunt Joe's husband then?
I
Barry.
suppose he's in Missouri. He died in Missouri, didn't he?
Oh, I never thought about
Yeah,
that.
he's-
No, he died in Illinois.
Oh, Illinois? Okay.
he died in
okay.
Illinois.
But she come up here with the family, see, after
Okay.
he passed away.
Okay.
Can you get it now?
Yeah, I
Can you see
think
it?
so, yeah.
Maybe if we get it out of the plan. I put a fern leaf peony on here last fall.
Oh, did you? And is that the one that's still there?
Memorial Day peony. And it had 2 blooms on it. So that'll come up, it's a pre-annual, it'll come up every day, every year now.
Oh, really?
And see, Tom is still living, so
And he's up in Milwaukee?
he's in Milwaukee, I guess.
Well, Helen sure suffered a long time, didn't
boy,
she?
did she ever. My gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were here for the funeral then when they
Yeah.
brought her back?
Yeah. Yeah, they brought her back here, and then Pauline and Bud and I got a few goodies together, and we had a little lunch afterward. They really did appreciate that. They thought that was great.
Hmm.
Everybody, because there's quite a few of the Sawyers, you know, that
Were there that came?
Yeah, that came.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Paula.
No, wait a minute. Who's this one?
This is Catherine here, Roy's wife.
Okay, and she died in 74.
74. Mm-hmm.
Huh. And they always lived right here in Oaks, didn't they?
Yeah, they farmed right south of us, right straight down here.
Oh,
for
did
many
they?
Years, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roy moved over on the old Myers. Father Myers had a farm over there. They lived over there, and that's where Roy passed away.
Over there? Now it's F. Paul for what, Francis?
Francis Paul.
In 1964 and 1909, so he was
54, wasn't he?
54 when he died.
55, this according to this, wouldn't it be? Mm-hmm.
And then where would you be buried?
I'll be buried right here. It's the only spot left now.
Is that right? Of those?
Right here, yeah. And then Grandpa and Grandma.
Where are they buried now?
Right there. Here's
Right
Honora.
beside me?
Here's Honora. See, they have...
Okay, now Honora is which one?
That's Grandma Roney, Annie.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And then there's Grandpa.
And so Aunt Annie was 1868 to 1961. She was
90, what was she, 93 when she passed away.
gosh.
Mm-hmm.
And then Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
What was the age for Henry? On Charles?
Henry. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so he would have been 18... Well, he was died the year you were married
That
then.
would be 30... Yeah, he died in 36. We were married in 38. He would be 30.
Oh, 2 years before you were married.
37. Wait a minute, there's... No, what's the matter with me? Yes, sir, 37. On to that, he was 73 when he passed away then, right?
So 1863 to 1936. And you never knew Grandpa. You never knew Charlie. Now, which Charlie is this?
This is Ted.
Oh, this is Ted.
This is
Oh, I keep forgetting about it
Yeah,
being
Charles.
CE.
Mhm, Charles Edward.
And so they called him Ted from the Edward then.
And see, that's very plain, but it's 18, or very pale.
1890.
And 1973.
Yeah.
Gosh, he's been gone 13 years.
That's hard to believe, isn't it? And they're all kind of right here in a row, aren't they? The whole group.
And then Pauline bought this stone.
And Pauline has him where? Right here? This one? Now, who's in this one?
That's Roberta down there.
This is Roberta. Oh, this is Pauline here.
And then Fred would be right here's the corner of the, right here's the R. So Fred's right here. You can kind of tell. She'll be right here then.
And Fred is where?
Fred is right here. And Pauline will be right here when the time comes. The Roney's on both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then this is which one? This is Roberta here.
Chuck's Roberta. And see, then there's a spot for Chuck over there, see?
Mm-hmm. And she was born in 42
42, yep.
and died in 80.
38 years old.
And that was cancer of stomach. She sure suffered, didn't she?
Oh, my God. Oh, so wonderful you were here. Boy, that meant more.
That was a nice home mass that we did in the hospital right before that. That was really touching.
I just played that mass not too long ago.
Oh, was that right? You've got the tape of it yet?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, that means a lot, doesn't it?
Oh, yes, yeah.
So, who else? Is there anybody else in
No,
this area?
This
is it now.
That is it, yeah.
Hmm.
There's 4 of them.
Roberta. And then,
Here, there's 4 of them.
now is this from Roberta's yet?
Yeah.
Is it? And then Fred and Pauline. Do you?
When the weather's good, if it isn't rainy, well, we had a nice mass up here this year. It's really nice.
Huh.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So the first one buried out here would probably be,
Grandpa Roney, wouldn't it?
oh, probably would be in 36,
In
wouldn't it?
36,
Yeah.
That would be the first one. And then, let's see, then Grandma lived, see, she lived, oh my gosh, 30,
She lived quite a few years.
25 years after we passed away. Well, she was 93.
She was 93?
93 when she passed away, yeah. And, yeah. And you know the funny thing about it, you know, you stop and think about it. You know, Grandma had 2 daughters. I used to say, I don't know how she could take it with my family growing up. And she'd never leave. Blanche would come over and stop, and she'd say, okay, Grandma, go home with me. She'd go home. Of course, at the time, that's when the highway went right by the house.
Yeah.
She'd go one day, the next day, the bus would stop, and here was Grandma.
Oh, she'd come right back home?
Right back in the same way over at Wapaton. She did the same thing. I thought to myself, why don't she go and get away from her? But she loved it.
She liked the kids too, didn't
loved
she?
the kids.
Yeah.
She really raised the kids. You know, I worked
Did
out,
she?
I
Yeah.
worked out in the field and everything, and she was always there when the kids come from school.
Was she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a great, great old lady.
Hmm. And Roy was born in 01.
01, yeah.
And Catherine was born in 10, so she was about 9 years younger.
Yeah. And see, Roy was, look at there. Roy was only 60
Was he?
when he passed. Look at that.
Yeah.
They said he stopped every morning to visit Grandma.
Oh, he did? Roy did?
Yeah, when they lived over here on the Myers farm.
Oh.
You know, he went by every day. And on the way back, he'd stop in, he'd walk in and visit with Grandma, and the way he'd go. Then he went home this morning, and he was sitting on the chair, and that's where he passed away.
Oh, and he just died in his chair at the house.
At the house, over on the old Myers.
Now that's east of Oaks and then a little north?
That's right north of here.
Oh, is it?
Right north of here, 1 mile.
Huh.
There's no buildings left, although someone is building a new home there now.
Oh, are they?
So, but Roy was very good, too. Of course,
Now, where would their daughter Pat be married? Pat McCann.
that's at Verona.
She's buried at
Catholic-
Verona.
Catholic Cemetery, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Well, they're all right here together, aren't they?
All right here together, yeah.
Now, what year did you come to this house, Doris?
This house was built in 58, and we were married in 66.
In 66?
66. And Frank died in
80?
80.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been a nice home, hasn't
It's
it?
been a beautiful home, yeah. I
Yeah.
had the bed all made up and everything for you.
Oh, my gosh.
But that's okay, you know. That's all right.
Well,
There's-
I had tried to call you several times. I just missed
yesterday
you.
was such a busy day, and
Yeah.
I was gone most of the day. And then last night I watered and watered,
Uh-huh.
and then I run over to Chuck's a minute because I'd like to have his fridge.
Oh, and he's moving out of there, isn't he?
He's moving
Yeah.
out, and he can take his fridge.
So now tell me a little bit about when you moved here, George.
Moved here in September of 1972
72. Did you buy it directly from Ted?
Yes.
From his family?
through town.
Did you? Yeah. And so in 72, and this is 86, so what, about 14 years? Boy, nice long time. Well, it's been a nice home for you.
Yes, we're well satisfied with it.
Really?
Exactly. We had such a nice visit. He took pictures of Denny's float. Did they get the float down, Denny? Or
I don't know.
you all see?
I couldn't see that.
I'll
very
bet you
well.
they took that. We were out there yesterday, and they were going to take that down, and that was really a nice float. Had all the Roneys on there, all their names, and of course it started out with let's see, the Roney Farm, and then the elevator. Then, no, not the elevator, the old grain.
Country store.
The country store was first, that's right. The country store was first. Then they had, Ted's old grain building, you know, that he had.
Yeah.
Then they had the elevator, and then the bowling alley. They had all of that on, and they had little cards about so wide with all the names on. And he got a prize, he got a trophy.
Well,
A
he
plaque.
did get a prize?
Yeah, he did.
Good.
Yeah. So we went out there, I wanted to take more pictures of it, because in the parade it went by so fast.
Well, that's just it,
And,
I couldn't see it out here.
So Chuck come out and took some too.
Yeah, he told me he went out there, and he said I was glad. He took some pictures,
Yeah, he
too.
did. He took some pictures too, yeah. Yeah. But,
Tell me a little bit about, and then we'll let you go, but tell me a little bit about where you met Ted and a little bit about you guys getting to know one another.
Where Ted and I had one?
Where did you first meet?
Well, we met right here at a dance in Oaks.
where'd you dance at? Above the CMC?
The old CMC hall.
CMC, yes, sir.
Hmm.
Golly.
And as soon as I saw him,
That was the man, huh?
that was it.
What was he like?
Oh, he was a handsome kid.
Yeah, he really was, yeah, yeah.
He had hair then? He had hair then?
Oh, yes. Well, you can tell from that picture that he had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. You know, Denny reminds me so much of Ted.
Oh, my Denny?
Yeah.
Oh, he does, oh.
And the things that he does,
Uh-huh,
you know, the nice little things.
yeah.
Now, like...
Ted is always kind of slow moving too, and Dennis is the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I sit and look at Dennis and I can just see Ted. I said, I guess that's why I think so much of Dennis.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Chuck, I should think more of him because he's my godchild.
Oh, Chuck is? Hmm.
But I don't know, it's
It seems
Dennis.
like Denny was closer to Grandma than any of the rest of them, and I think he just, I don't know, it seems like he clings to the Roneys closer than the others.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he does.
Well, when I think of some of the little things that Dennis has done, even, well now for Eileen Donnelly, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
Ted would do things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he would never say anything to me until after he had done it.
Done it, yeah.
He'd get some poor widow here with a bunch of youngsters, and he'd send down a load of coal.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'd tell me, he sent Mrs. So-and-so a little load of coal. He said, I couldn't stand to think of those kids being cold.
Mm.
Yeah.
And, you know, those are the little
Yeah.
things that Dennis does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Denny is that way.
And Ted did what kind of work? He had the...
Ted?
Uh-huh.
He was in the bank when we were married. He was the bookkeeper in the Oaks National Bank. And he continued with that until, I suppose, 4 or 5 years. And he said, I just decided that if the bank could make money doing other things, I was doing this work for them. He said, I knew what they were making. He says, I decided I could make that money for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So he started out on his own.
Mm-hmm. And what did he do then? He
had real estate and insurance.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he did all of his life then?
No, then he got in connection with Julius Hamel, and they bought the
Oak Seed and Feed.
Yeah. He started this Oaks feed seed. It was just feed and seed and fuel, and then then he went in with Julius, and Julius had fuel.
Mm.
So then they were the two of them, Hamel and Roney, and they had feed, fuel, and seed.
Well, then he went from there into the elevator. Didn't he have that elevator himself?
And
he-
John worked under his dad.
Yeah. And you see, that when he bought that elevator, that Harry Jenny had it, and when he was about to lose it to the, what was the name of that company? A grain commission company, anyway, in Minneapolis. And the man who came here, his name was Charlie Johnson. And he said to Ted one day, he said, I'd like to see you take over this elevator from Harry Jenny because he's going to lose it. And he said he owes us a lot of money. He cannot pay it. He said, well, Ted says, I just bought out Julius's share in Honnold and Roney. He said, I really don't have the money to put in. He said, Ted, if you'll take it, he said, we'll advance the money for you.
And so that's where he started.
That's where it started, that big elevator.
Hmm.
The old round elevator.
Hmm. Tell me a little bit about when the corn was planted and what kind it is and what kind of acre or what kind of yield, etc. Real loud.
We planted the corn right about the 1st of May. Mostly all pioneers, high red.
Louder.
And the yield will hopefully be about 130 to 40 bushel on an average. On the plot, on a special plot that we have here, we hope will yield somewhere 170 to 80 bushel.
And then will you store it? Will you be storing it here then?
Yeah, will all be stored right here on the farm.
And how much storage do you have right now? How many bins?
I've got about 60,000 bushel of storage.
60,000 bushel of storage. How many bins is that? About 12?
Yeah.
And you just bought some more new bins?
Yes, I'll be moving some more bins in. And then we'll be putting up some probably 20,000 bushel of quick bins, they call them. Plastic type bin.
Tell me what they're like.
Just a plastic bin that you can set up, portable bin.
And you just put it on the ground and these plastic things go up around it and cover it? And how many bushels would you put in these plastic bins?
They'll hold about 10,000 bushel apiece.
Wow. Now, did you have that program that it didn't get you wet? How does the end one know how far to shoot out? Can you change that?
Yes, I can. It's got a little control on there that I can adjust to adjust it.
And you can adjust that? Really? And so right behind you, Larry, how many acres roughly of corn are there of yours?
Well, there's 2 pivots here, and there would be about 135 acres under each pivot.
135 acres under each pivot of the irrigation. And do you have any of the wheat under irrigation?
We irrigate the corners. We have a little traveling gun that we irrigate the corners with, but this year we haven't used it.
Yeah. You've had a pretty good year rain-wise.
Well, fair, yes, in the spring. We had a lot of rain in the spring.
Of 86. And you got some rain last night, like 3 inches here on July the 15th. Okay. When did this well, or when did this irrigation go in here?
Well, the well was put in, I think, 1956.
In 1956, the well was put in by your dad?
Yeah.
And was it one of the first ones?
Yeah. It was in this area.
And
I put the center pivot on about 8 years ago.
you put a center pivot on about 8 years ago? By pivot, you mean this great big long chain of... That's all called a pivot. And you said that you're drawing how many thousand gallons a minute?
About 900 gallons a minute.
900 gallon a minute. And that adds up to how much a day did you guys figure out last night?
56,000.
56,000 gallons of water an hour. It's a lot of water. And you say they're worried about this water table having dropped in Oaks? Can you go on over there a little bit, Linda? 1,300 feet long? And does Jenny go out and turn it off and on every day?
It takes about 60 hours for it to make a complete revolution.
It takes 60 hours for it to go all the way around in a circle? For 1 inch of water. And how many inches do you water in a year?
About average of 13.
13 inches a year, so it has to make 13 circles, and that takes 60 hours apiece? Boy, it's a lot of water. You're on camera, so go ahead and tell me.
Okay. My grandfather come up from Missouri in about 1910. They come up here. The house was built in 1911, and my dad and mother got married in '38 and lived on the farm until Linda and I moved here in '64, and we've been here since then. Jason, tell them what year you are in school.
I'm going to be in 8th grade and 14 years old.
And names?
Jason Roney,
Okay, Jason, and you're going to be what year in school?
8th grader.
8th grader.
I'm Mitch Roney. I'm going to be a sophomore. I'm 16 years old.
Okay.
Philip Roney. I'll be attending NDSU this year, majoring in agricultural economics, and I'm 19 years old.
And your face is full of mud from running out to the irrigator.
What grade?
Look at the camera.
What are you going to be this fall? What year in school?
First grader.
And what did you just get done with this summer?
Kindergarten.
We've had a wonderful summer this summer. We've really been busy. It's been a real busy summer with Philip graduating from high school, and we had our centennial here in Oaks, and there was we worked on a couple of the committees with the alumni part of it, and it was really fun. We had a lot of people here, and everybody just, I think, did their best and put out 100% effort to make it a real success. It was really a fun weekend. We still, oh, by the way, that rocking chair up in the bedroom that you're sleeping in, Father Chuck, was Grandma Roney's rocking chair, and that's the one that Larry can tell you the things that used to happen out here, and she used to sit up there in the east bedroom window in her rocking chair.
To holler at us kids all the time because we were always sliding behind the hay rack or something, and she was so scared we were going to get hurt.
This was Grandma Annie Roney. Okay. And she would have died even before any of you boys were born? Do any of you remember? None of you do? Okay.
She died in 1961, didn't she?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because I barely remember her. I can remember her laying in the hospital bed. She had snow white hair, and everybody used to talk about Grandma Roney.
My house that you see down there, we built it in the fall of 1970. It's been quite a few remodeling projects since it's been built. We added on a family room out to the north side. So we changed a couple of bedrooms around in the house, and we built on a big patio behind. And we built the Quonset about 10 years ago. It's a real nice area. I really like it out there. It's nice and quiet. Got a nice paved road going by here, which Makes it real nice.
Gotten job, maybe.
And I worked for the North Dakota State Highway Department. I started working there April Fool's Day in 1963.
And what do you do with them?
I'm the foreman here in the Oaks area. We plow snow, work on signs, mow weeds, whatever there is to do with general maintenance of highways. Awful lot of patchwork, tarring, and stuff like that. And this is my wife, Margie. We were just married May 23rd of this year.
Tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, I have 3 kids.
Okay.
And, well, we have 4. I have 2 boys and 1 girl, and Jim has the daughter.
Okay. Tell us their names.
There's Brenda, David, and Randy, and Kathy.
Okay.
And I work at the post office part-time and in Anthony's part-time, and part-time housewife too, I guess now. And I really enjoy living out here. I did live 14 miles from town, but now a mile and a half from town is really
nice. Yeah.
It's going to be really nice this winter, I think.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about Kathy is working where?
Right now, Kathy's working at the Sportsman's Bar here in Oaks. She would like to find something else, but jobs are pretty scarce right now. She did go to school 2 years at Fargo to NDSU, but I guess she couldn't really decide what she wanted, so she's been back home and she's still living with us here.
She lives with you out at the house?
Yeah, she lives here with us.
Okay. All right. Tell us a little bit about the age of your children that they're into.
Brenda's 20, she'll be 25. She lives in Omaha, Nebraska. She works for People Republic Airlines. She's a reservation clerk. David is 19. He goes to NDSU in Fargo. And he's majoring in engineering. And Randy will be 16. And he'll be going to school here in Oaks. He'll be a sophomore.
Me. I better get this fire before they finally...
Go!
Take a spray thing of paper or water.
Do you want some of these?
Yeah, I do. I think the gas tank of the van is going to go any minute.
I can get it right now.
Well, it's just a Dodge, so that's all right. Put that lid on, maybe you can...
Oh, we got a couple hamburgers left here to get off.
Hey, your dad. Throw that off of there.
Oh, I gotta eat these hamburgers out.
Oh, there's plenty of burgers.
I'm going to have a bonfire here pretty soon. Let me see.
The first live burnout at the Roney's. Just a minute and I'll get them, yeah.
Linda, do you have one of them little spray bottles? You spray water on it?
Be careful, yeah.
Let the hamburger go.
Oh, there's...
Get back, Jason, you're going to get...
Butch and Casper here would probably like one.
I know. And they'll certainly get a hot one, that's for sure.
There's some over here now.
Well, this is kind of exciting for TV News 5 here. The year we came to the Roney's and the house burned down.
That one's very bad.
Where's that one burned? Kind of hot.
Cold.
Well,
You had too many
try it
coals
again.
under there. Look at that kid, and they're so hot.
it's Casper.
Fire.
Scoop them off. The hamburger.
Start them coals about 3-4 hours before you want to use them.
Way too many.
You want more on here now?
Yeah, keep frying. Here's hamburgers, Larry.
Hey, I'm Marge Roney, Jim's wife, and these are some pictures that were taken during our 100th celebration here in Oaks. All 4 brothers grew beards for this, which was quite a feat. I thought they really looked good in their beards. Over here on the left is Jim, and then Chuck is standing next to him, and then Denny, and then Larry. And Chuck won the most colorful beard in the beard judging contest. All 4 boys were in the contest, and Chuck managed to get that prize.
It's taken over the gazebo.
Oh, okay, this was taken over at Denny's in their gazebo.
Go ahead and put that one in.
Okay, here's another one. This has their mom, Doris, standing behind them there. The 4 boys again.
So the one with Karen on?
George and Billy Miner.
Okay, here's another picture of the 4 boys and Karen, their sister, and Doris. And this is taken in front of the old homestead here, the Roney house. Larry and Linda live in it now. Oh, let's see. Here's one. Doris and George and Millie. Minard. Taken over at Denny's again. Jim, you'll have to tell who this is.
Jim and Honora. You can tell them.
Jim and Honora German, is it? And Father Richard Gillen. They were over there one evening for a picnic supper. And this was the same night at Denny and Mona's with the whole clan out in the gazebo.
Okay.
You want to stop now?
That's all right. Go ahead.
Regroup.
My name's Amber Roney, and this is Karen and Larry and Chuck and Jim and Dennis Roney. Next. And this is Chuck Roney in the beard contest, and he got most colorful beard. And this is Dennis Roney.
My dad.
My dad, and that's when he had his beard. And this is all the Roneys with the trophies. And there's Larry, Chuck, Dennis, Paul, Philip, Mitch, and Jason.
That's at the tractor pull.
That's at the tractor pull.
And who won?
Well, they all got.
They all
won.
Okay.
That's Larry, Chuck, Dennis, Karen, and Jim again.
What's your dad
And that's my dad getting his trophy at the tractor pull.
Okay.
It's first place trophy.
First place trophy.
And tell them about your school.
This is my family, and we all worked very hard on it. And that's Deb, Janelle, Dad, Paul, me, Pat, and Mona.
And tell us what was on the float.
There was these signs. I can't remember what they said. And there was this house with all the pigs, and these Roney's for fresh groceries, and Roney is feeding seed.
Okay.
Here's another picture just with the boys. That's Chuck the Husky, my brother-in-law, and Paul and Dennis.
Okay.
That's Debbie, me, Pat, Mom, Paul, Janelle, and Dennis.
Okay.
This is Dad. He got his first place trophy at the tractor pull.
Okay.
It's probably. I'd like to have seen one of that float.
And then this is a set. That one sign said Dennis Roney, 1958 Super MD.
Okay.
And that,
There it is. Here's the one we're looking for right here. This, I'll kind of walk up to it.
that's our Roney Ancestors Hope, Oaks Grove. And that's a part of our float with nobody on it. And we worked very hard on it. And there's another one that we worked very hard. And there's corn growing, and there's a little irrigator. And there's a house again, and that's it.
This is a float that Dennis Roney and his family built for the Oak Centennial. I think it's really nice. It goes clear back to the start of when Roney's come to the Oaks area.
And did you guys win a big prize?
Yeah.
Agricultural float, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Big overall agricultural float.
And the family got a real nice plaque it was the best agricultural float in the parade.
And there was over 300 entries in the parade, so that was really quite a honor.
Yeah, and we're gonna hang it in my dad's office.
And who are you talking to right now? Who are they?
Margie and Jim Roney.
Tell me your name.
Chuck Roney. I have a cousin named Roney. Your dad's name is Larry Roney.
And who are there? And they're your cousins, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's your name?
Yes. My name is Denny Roney. And my cousins are Amber and Joe. And Joe's dad's name is Chuck. And Amber's name is Your dad's name is Dennis Roney.
Okay.
These are my two cousins, Jennifer and Amber Roney, and Amber's dad's name is Dennis Roney, and Jennifer's dad's name is Larry Roney.
And your dad?
Chuck Roney.
It's Chuck Roney.
You better get Chucky
Okay.
out here, huh?
And tell me who's up behind you.
Grandma Doris.
Grandma Doris. And is she taking care of all the food tonight?
You better get your daddy out here so he can ask us the questions.
I cooked just a little bit more.
Put all those wieners on. They'll eat them. And if they don't, they can put them in the microwave.
The flies love it.
I don't know what you know, so I have to find that black car up here. No, we have to go.
How do you get a knife? Yeah, I'm Dennis Roney, and Paul Roney was my father, and Doris is my mother. And we live in Oaks here. We've lived here all our lives, and we live across the road from the home place. I married Mona Donnelly in 1970, and she had 2 daughters, and one of them was killed in front of our house on the road, and so Debbie is left, and she's married, lives in Fargo. She's married to Chuck Rehusky. And we have 4 children of our own. Paul is, I think he's 15, and let's see, Janelle is 13, and Patrick is, how old are you, Pat? 9 or 10, and let's see, Amber is about 7 or 8.
800.
And we farm and you know, irrigate from the whole business, and hope we can continue, and hope that we don't farm till it's all gone.
Thanks, Dennis.
Ready? I'm Jim Roney. I live down the road just about a half a mile from here. My folks was Paul and Doris Roney. I work for the North Dakota State Highway Department. This time of the year we're patching, smearing oil all over the road. Get a lot of griping, people bitching about getting tar on their cars and stuff, but it has to be done. I have one daughter, Kathy. She still lives with me. I just got married May 23rd of this summer. My wife is a sub-mail carrier. And what else? What did I forget?
You did pretty well.
Okay. I'm Chuck Roney. Same parents as the other 2, Paul and Doris Roney. I live in Oaks. I manage a fertilizer, chemical, and propane plant in Oaks. Now it's owned by Phoenix. My wife, Roberta, passed away in 80. And we have 4 children. Jana, 23, Brian, 22, Brad, 24, and Jill, 8. Huh?
Brad's 21.
Brad's 21. Okay. I'm Brad.
I'll go by the pickup and take up north. Where the kids.
Our prep football previews continue tonight at 6 o'clock. We heard what the defending state champion Cavalier Tornadoes plan to whip up. And tonight we hear from the Tornadoes of Oaks, who could send their opposition spinning this year.
Last fall, football experts believed that Oaks was 1 year away from winning it all. Well, that 1 year away is now this year, and it's time to see why the people in Oaks are so optimistic. The Tornadoes returned 7 offensive starters from a year ago, including Bill Schmitz at quarterback, Randy Gurdon at tailback, and Steve Hansen at fullback.
Anytime you have a team with this much experience, I don't want to set any limits to what this team can do. If they want to play well and we find the key kids at the right positions, we can do whatever.
Although the offense appears to be loaded with talent, head coach Wade Keel and his staff believes that the defense is even stronger.
We have 6 starters back, but we really feel that we're probably even further ahead there because I have some kids who got some playing time last year who were not starters. But we feel we'll be real salty on defense, and maybe that'll carry us through the first few games.
The only position with inexperience is the offensive line. Only 1 starter returns from last season. But with a backfield that averages 200 pounds and a defense capable of shutting out their opponents at any time, the sky is the limit for the Oaks Tornadoes. In Oaks, Brett Garland, KX4 Sports.
He's on January 17th with the Clevelands and Jim and Margie and our family and Doris.
Wait till the rest of them come.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'll get some more.
Coach Larry Roney. Did you go, Philip? Tie him down. You go tie him down? Hey, where's Mitch?
Yeah, where's Mitch?
Oh, he had to go to...
Probably Paula at a party someplace. No.
Larry? What's going on? I can't remember.
Oh, he's Hanson getting
You gotta get the voice and Hanson's what?
a car.
Her new car? Oh, Steve's getting a car.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give that to
Jim, you're awful quiet down there.
I just get in trouble anytime I say anything.
Ah, come on now.
He's looking for Jermaine. Jerry. God, I'm pulling his hair out.
No, now technically that's not what happened.
11th of March. Here comes the Sioux Line Depot down the street. Sure. Larry and Jason are on top of the depot holding the power lines up at the corner. Huh? What are you doing, Mitch? She wants to ride with you.
Ordered by a former student of ours, Mr. Kevin Breitbach. ReNae Lady, escorted by Mr. Mitch Roney. John McHarris, escorted by Mr. Barry Schmeese. Tracy Matthias, escorted by Mr. Paul Roney. Charlotte Janelle Roney, escorted by Mr. Russell Sell. Jody Bernhardt, escorted by Mr. Justin Bolt. Mitchell Roney. Paul Roney. Donna Rowe.
Why?
You alright?
I will. Shoot.
Better get a lot of that.
Jesus. I got it. God dang, what a mess. Let's go cruise around on your motorcycle and take some pictures. Yeah, I mean it's running low as it is, you know.
Here, I gotta go in here. I gotta tell you. There's no way the cows are gonna walk through that unless he's steep. What are we gonna do? We gotta get him out of here. Well, the only thing is, if we can run them up here and load them in the damn trailer. Haul them where? Haul them up the other end of the pasture.
on out there, Snoot. Just walk right out there. Get out there. Walk out there. Go, Gertie, go.
I think you sit back and tell them about the flood in '89.
Yeah.
You still coming up?
Escorted by Jason Roney.
Sonia Kemmerer, escorted by Kyle Knudsen. ReNae Johnson, escorted by Paul Roney.
Tamara Dunker, escorted by Brian Sire.
Ben, you got him?
Yeah.
Look it off one.
ReNae Claudette Johnson. Jason Scott Roney. Simon Lee